Engage. Engage. Weakness is strong. I must be stronger. I must crush it into submission through force of will. So I savage the body. I push and pull and fight against gravity. I fight against fatigue and soreness. And the weakness says, give in. I will not give in. I will fight. Friends, this is the Formless Podcast, episode number 66. Tyler the Superhuman is out having a little adventure. I have what I consider to be the most beautiful woman in the world with me as my guest, Brighten, my wife. I am Dustin, and here we are in the garage today. We're at home in the garage. The dojo is, that's where we usually are. But today, we decided to do this one at home. It was just a little bit easier to make it happen. And it's hot, so
very warm.
So very, very warm.
So very warm, which is really, it speaks to how hot it is, because usually they come into the garage to cool off.
It's usually cool in the garage. After the car fire, we got new insulation installed in the garage and in the house, and made the garage really quite comfy.
It made a big difference in the house too. I think the house holds the temperature better.
But today it's not.
Today it doesn't matter.
It's 110
It's
though.
that hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not 118.
That's true.
So we're surviving.
We'll survive.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of thinking. Today is a lesson in humility and patience. We recorded a whole episode and realized I did not hit the record button. So this is take 2. And we're going to talk a little bit about the same stuff, but maybe some new stuff too as well.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So
that was a trial run.
That was a trial run. Yeah. We talked about, I talked about giving up, giving in, quitting. I'm weak sauce.
I disagree.
Well, I am. And I am inherently a whiner and am lazy. Any excuse to quit, and I will. And I know that about myself. And in knowing that about myself, I know that I can't let that thought happen. So I have to have routines. I have to have lists. I have to keep going, keep moving. And otherwise I'll just be a blob of nothing, and depressed and angry and ugly. And I don't want that.
Who do you know that you think is not that way? That you admire, that you look up to, that you think that's not what they are like?
Oh no.
Do you have anyone like that? Because it's so hard for me, or just funny for me really, to hear you say that you're lazy or a blob, or that you'll just do nothing. Because I think I spoke to this on our first round. To me, if one of us was lazy or didn't do as much in the relationship, I would say that person would be me. I think you're really, really motivated. You're up early. You're always doing things.
But I have to be that way. I have to do those things. I have to be up early. I have to write my journal. I have to do those things, because otherwise the alternative is I do nothing. So in order for me not to be a depressed, ugly, mopey, angry person, I have to keep going. I have to keep doing those things. And I end up in inevitably screwing one of those things up that keeps me moving, and I find myself back in that depressive state. And so one of the ways that I defeat that or mitigate that is um, by having a daily routine. Like I journal, I wake up early, I make sure I get enough sleep, um, try not to overindulge in things, um, and so like alcohol. Um, Although I do drink, uh, uh, I do this routine. Wake up early every morning, and
Really, every morning.
really every morning.
Not even on the weekends do you take a break.
Anybody that follows me on Facebook or Instagram knows that.
That's true.
Some days I sleep in a little bit, 5:30.
That's sleeping in for you. It's
Yeah,
5:30,
but-
which just cracks me up.
But I get up early, and that is so I sleep because I have a
Right.
hard time falling asleep. So, and it's a simple thing. If you have a hard time falling asleep, go to bed tired. If you're not tired, don't go to bed. If you want to sleep, go to bed tired. And that means you may have to exercise. That means, for me, wake up early as I possibly can. And then I go to sleep, and I sleep like a baby, and I sleep through the whole night. Exercise as much as I can. Try and eat healthy meals, and that sort of stuff. Oh, and journaling. So I journal no less than 5 days a week. That was my stomach.
I was like, is that me or you?
No, that was me.
Okay.
I journal 5 days a week, and the journaling is more of a roadmap for me. Like, if anyone ever read it, it would be the most boring thing to read ever, because it's not anything great. It's about what I've done. Like, okay, this weekend, went to dinner with the wife, played with the kids, went to a movie, or went to class, or played a game with Tom, whatever. Mundane, simple things. But it's like a roadmap for my mental state. And so when I start feeling crappy, when I start feeling depressed or muddled, one of the ways I get out of that is I go back through my journal and I find out, oh, well, I missed class on Monday. I didn't do exercise on Wednesday. Work's been light. Oh, okay. So like it's kind of a way to unscrew myself. And it's just more of it's a roadmap to my emotional state.
So if you don't know what's bothering you, you can look back at it.
Yeah, because for me, like, one of the things that screws with me, like when I get to a depressive state or get in a funk, I don't know why I'm there. I'm totally blindsided by it, and I have no idea why I'm there. And I'll be like that for a matter of days or weeks. And it's because I've fallen out of that routine. I've fallen out of that thing. And that's like a way for me to find it and then get back on track, get back on that path where I want to be quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of one of those things. It's one of the tools that I have.
Yeah.
That I go back to.
I like that you refer to them as tools that you have.
I don't know how else I'd put it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just like one of those things.
I think
Hold
our
on.
neighbor's coming.
Our neighbor's coming over. Totally cool. In there, and I don't remember. Oh, we were talking about the journaling and all the good healthy habits.
Yes.
Okay.
That is what we were talking about.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like my roadmap and what I use to like get myself back on that path, because I'll be in such a state of like, oh, poor is me, whiner, wuss breath, that like I won't know how to fix myself. Like I won't know how to get myself out of that. So that's what I use to like, oh, here's where I screwed up. I can fix that now. You know, but it's not as simple as that. It takes days. It takes a long time to like get back out of that. Oh, I just have to say that I love our neighbors. They're great.
I love our neighbors too. I think we're very. In fact, we were just talking the other day about
I'm gonna
how.
record.
Oh, okay. Well, we should say that.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, no, I totally love our neighbors. That was just another small interruption, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I do too.
yeah, we were just talking about how.
The other night we were just talking about how what we were discussing whether maybe moving would be in our future in the next, a little bit here. Like we're just discussing some life issues, I guess, and not really issues, but like details. And we were saying one of the definite cons would be I don't know if we would ever find neighbors as good as
We'll
the
never
ones
find neighbors like
we have
now.
right now.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Although
it's
I mean,
very
we'll
true.
find other neighbors,
There
but
are millions of great people out there. Just we've been blessed with the neighbor lottery.
so that can put up with all of our stuff.
We have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back on the path here, back on the track.
Mhm.
So yeah, I use the journaling as one of the tools that I use to unscrew myself when I get all screwed up. So
Yes, I think we were talking about in the first recording
mhm.
automatic negative thoughts because I'm reading about
The
that in school.
ants, the ants, yes.
And stomping at those thoughts. Do you ever find that you have to do that and then replace them with positive thoughts? Because before I ever read this in a book, you told me about it.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said earlier, I'm a wuss and I'm a whiner, and I am weak sauce, and that is my go-to, the negative. My automatic reaction to anything is to take the negative side of it. And there goes the washing machine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. We're gonna make do.
Excuse me. My automatic response to anything is to go to the negative side. And so if I'm in like the right state, if I'm in the right frame of mind, I can squash that out pretty quickly. But I have to be like on the game. I have to be on that path and doing those things. And that's one of those things that I'm constantly struggling against. And for me, those automatic negative thoughts, they're super simple to squash out when I'm on my path, when I'm on the game. When I am slipping, when I haven't been sleeping well, when I haven't exercised, when I've been in a depressive state, the automatic negative thoughts, those ants, consume me.
Yeah.
And if I let them consume me, then I'm just a puddle of garbage. Like, just depressive, woe is me crap. So that's those things, and it's like, it's like I said in the last one that we recorded, like Sisyphus.
Mm-hmm.
Sisyphus was the Greek or mythological guy who was cursed to or punished by pushing the boulder up the mountain for eternity. And when he almost gets to the top, him and the boulder are back at the bottom, and he's got to start over again. That process of starting is hard.
It's incredibly difficult.
But once you've got the momentum, once you've got the ball rolling, it doesn't take that much effort to keep it rolling. It takes less effort to keep the ball rolling than it does to start. So if I start and get it rolling, it's much easier. But the start-stop, which we all do, which I do, that's the hard thing. And once you're for speaking for myself, once you're in this state of like, oh, life's hard, it becomes that much harder to get that ball rolling again. Right? Why even start? Because it's going to be hard.
I think I understand what you're saying more this time, so maybe it's a good thing that we're
Redoing it.
this, because I just had this like flash to like when I'm trying to get things done around the house or with the kids or whatever, and then like I'm not like you in the morning, like I'm like a little more lazy. It takes me longer to get up. So once I do start going, like exercising and taking care of what the kids need in school and everything, like once I start doing it, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not really upset about having to do anything.
Yeah.
But like that first initial like having to get up and get everything going, that is like the hardest part for me. Like I'm like, oh, the biggest excuse to have to get another cup of coffee or whatever so I can sit for a little bit longer. So I think I finally understand the analogy. It's hard to get started on our to-do list. But once we start our to-do list and we're in the midst of our day, that's not hard because we're already going, we're already doing, we're already moving.
Yeah.
So is that kind of am I understanding it correctly now?
That is it. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good. It's a good thing we're doing this twice because I don't think I really understood it the first time we were talking about it.
But that's hard for everyone.
I think yes. I think we're guilty of thinking like it's just us.
It's hard for everyone. Some people never sleep. They have a hard time falling asleep. I mean, most people will tell you, oh, I can't sleep very well. I don't sleep very good. I sleep like crap, blah, 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 blah. Go to bed tired. We make problems bigger than they seem. It's so easy to do. If you've ever listened to a conversation where people are one-upping each other, whether it's fishing or work or a bad service at a restaurant or whatever, it's not like, oh, well, that you had it rough. I had it, uphill in the snow both ways. You had a bad meal. Mine almost killed me. They're this misery loves company.
Yeah, misery really does love company.
If you can remove yourself from that equation and just listen and be a bystander in that conversation, it's ridiculous.
What I enjoy about what you just said is, and I'm sorry to keep taking it back to school and what I'm reading right now, but I keep thinking all of what you're saying is exactly the stuff I was reading this morning, which is like, and it was also going through kind of like looking at who you're surrounding yourself with. Like, not to say that you shouldn't surround yourself with all kinds of people, obviously you should, but like just looking at how those relationships are impacting you.
Yes.
Are you around a lot of people who are negative? Or your circle pretty positive people? And of course we all have moments where we go through things and we, supporting each other is huge, but like just looking at like seeing what those relationships around you are doing for you. Are they bringing you up? Are they bringing you down? Or are they, are you the helper in this relationship, or is someone helping you? It's just really something that I had never really thought about before. Yeah. And it's really interesting you brought up the one-upping thing, because I definitely see that happening
and
a lot.
I am so guilty of this.
We all are.
Like, I'm literally thinking of conversations I've had this week where I was like, oh, life is terrible. I'm working so hard. I'm a wuss. I already said that. I'm weak. I already said that. So if you were part of that conversation, yes, I realize I am a hypocrite.
And are laughing now.
I am Yeah, you can feel free to laugh, because that is totally acceptable.
We all do it. We're
human. We will all do this. Yeah. And I will do it again.
I always think, when I think back on times that I've done that, and because we all have, I'm always like, or the other thing that I think too is like, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to relate to somebody, but it may have come off as I was trying to one-up them. So that's something I also think about when I overhear those conversations, is like, are they trying to one-up each other, or is someone trying to relate, like, hey, I feel you, like I've been there too?
Yeah.
So, and then again, like, also, is that even helpful? Or are you just making it about yourself?
Well, I think it's the misery loves company thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're miserable? So am
Me
I.
too. Yeah.
But you're not as miserable as I am.
Right.
I'm more miserable than you. My life is so much
I don't think we're
harder.
that bad. I hope we're not. But it does get to that level where you really have to question, like, am I really trying to relate to somebody, or am I trying to misery loves company, like you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
But yeah, I mean, that's life. That's part of things, you know. But if I, like I said, if I'm on my path, if I'm on the game, if I'm playing the game and I'm doing the things that I need to be doing, I can catch that. And it's like, oh, you stay over here. If I'm
meaning the negative thoughts.
I could push that away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be like, oh no, you can just
I do that too.
back off. But
not to one up you.
But if I don't catch it, you know, if I'm slipping or if I'm preoccupied with something or I'm distracted, that stuff will knock me on my rear quicker than anything. And the old saying goes, like, you know, you're your own worst enemy.
Meaning your negative thoughts?
Yeah. I'm like,
I think so. Because you know what's going to hurt you the most. So you say that to yourself.
Yes. Yes. So you have to be careful for that stuff.
No, thoughts are incredibly powerful. And the things that we tell ourselves, they make a huge impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're learning about all sorts of stuff like that in school right now.
I am learning about all kinds of stuff like that. And honestly, like,
so
it's good.
Let's back up just a hair. What are you going to school for again?
I'm going to school. This was a big debate last time, so I'll try to rephrase how I'm
going to say it. No, don't.
Okay, so what I said last time was I'm going to school to get my bachelor's in psychology, which I absolutely love. It's something I've always wanted to do, but never had the nerve to do it. And so I love it. I don't know exactly what I want to do with it. I want to get my master's degree.
Okay, freeze right there.
Okay.
You were better than last time.
I was better than last time.
So what did you say last time?
Last time I said I hope. I hope that I can get my master's degree.
There is no hope. We don't hope. We do. That's what I said. What you said was hope. It's okay to hope for stuff. I hope you have a good day. That's perfectly fine. But when it comes to accomplishing things, we do. I am going to do this. You can come along with me if you so want. But there's no hope. That is the mindset that I have to have. I have to have that mindset of, if I'm going to accomplish anything, I have to have the mindset of, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. I am getting this. I am accomplishing that. And I haven't been wrong yet. But I have to brainwash myself for that. And you had some rebuttal against that about something. I can't remember what it was.
I consider myself to be like a realist. And so, like, if, like, I'm looking into it, without, like, boring you all too much, I've been looking into a few master's programs, and they cost a fair amount. Rightfully so.
Yeah. But
you're investing in yourself.
Yes.
But I am a realist, and for me, I'm like, okay, is it justified that I spend this money? You know, we have 3 children. You know, we take care of others, so it's kind of like, it feels selfish to spend that money on I know that in the long run, it's for all of us, but it feels like a lot of money. It feels like a big investment, and it feels like I'm taking something from the family by doing that.
And you may very well be doing that for a short period of time. But it's not like you're neglecting people to go rob banks or do drugs. You are making yourself better, which in turn makes people around you better. right? And it's not
I
like
hope so.
you were off doing the school thing and everything else is getting left, neglected.
I That's one of the really hard things
Yeah.
about going to school as a mom. It's just very, or working or anything that
But
parents do.
but it's
I don't want to
not
limit that to
like
mothers, but
it's not like nobody's starved.
of course not.
Okay.
No,
Nobody didn't have a bed to sleep in.
no.
Nobody um, nobody couldn't take a shower. Nobody couldn't do any of the other things that needed to get done because you were going to school. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they may have had to wait a little bit, but they got what they needed to live.
Yeah.
So
it's more like the time away,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, and that is something that you'll never get away from.
Yes,
right?
That's new for me.
Yeah.
You've always worked in support of our family, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I am new to being, I've always been a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So being away from the kids to pursue this has been
rough.
Rough, but also just very different. And the feelings of guilt that you spoke about,
mm-hmm.
I never understood before. I get that feeling now where it's like I used to be able to devote a lot more time and energy than I feel like I can devote now, like because that school takes up more time. So
yeah,
it's just a new season for our family, and
absolutely
the guilt is there.
Yeah.
And so to continue on to a master's program that could take 2 to 4 more years, depending on the program I choose, is a big decision. Not even considering the money aspect of it. So I think that's why for me it's like I hope that turns out to be the right path for me. But I guess I don't know.
But like, I hope I could win $1 million. I hope I don't get struck by lightning. I hope to date Beyonce. I
You
hope,
do?
No, I'm just.
I don't blame you.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying what hope is. Hope is a big pile of nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna use
hope is a wish.
Because hope is like my favorite thing. So go for it.
Hope is a wish and a dream.
Okay.
Hope doesn't have a foundation. Work has a foundation.
Okay, I think I see the angle you're taking.
Doing has a foundation.
I think what you're saying is you can hope about something all day long, but unless you're showing up and putting the work in, that hope is going to get you nowhere. And I can agree with that point.
And hope is where my wuss lies. Hope is where my weakness is. Hope is where I am depressed. Hope is where I might as well not even try because it's too hard. Hope is where all of that negative thought is disguised in. So for me to do stuff, for me to accomplish things, I have to be in the mindset of I am doing, I am, I will, I am in process of. Right? So it's okay to hope. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to hope. But if you're trying to accomplish something, hope has no value. It's all in the I am doing, I am working towards, I am going to get this.
I feel like that kind of goes back to mindset and having a positive mindset.
It is. But it's like a brainwashing for me. That's the way I think of it. Like there's no other option. Just like I have to breathe to live. If there's something that I am working towards, then that's it. That's all there is. There's no other option. I can't let that enter my head because if I do, then I get distracted. And then if I get distracted, I get depressed or bummed out because I should really be working on this thing that I really want over here. But do I really want it? Because I allowed myself to get distracted. And then it's this negative spiral of garbage that enters my head. And it's a slippery slope.
I understand that. Sometimes I wonder, like, if I'm, is it the right path? Should I
So
go?
when
Yeah,
you
it does
start-
allow all
when
those
you
thoughts
start
to come
that,
in. Yeah.
The path that you're on, if you imagine it a trail, becomes a thread. And it's so hard to walk on a thread. It's so much easier to walk on a highway. So if I allow all of that to enter my head, that road becomes narrower and narrower and narrower till it's a thread. And then inevitably, I'm going to fall off that thread. So in order for me to make that road as wide as possible, I have to surround myself with that positive thought, positive I am, my, like, doing all of my routines and all of my things that I do to keep myself going. Waking up early, journaling, all of that stuff like we talked about earlier. And doing those things. Otherwise I fall off the path and I slip. And that slope is so slippery.
And then it's that much harder to get back to
that
pushing
much
that
harder
rock.
to get pushing that rock up the hill.
Yeah.
And it's not a hill, it's a mountain. I keep saying hill. It's a
Right.
mountain. And it might as well be Everest or Kilimanjaro. It's huge.
So that's where I think we were talking about last time too. In our previous recording that we didn't record, is that I also get I'm easily overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And so if something just starts feeling too overwhelming for me, I'm like, out. Like,
marriage.
That's too much. Not marriage. I mean, hopefully not marriage.
No.
Marriage doesn't feel overwhelming anymore. But, not to say I never did, but.
I'm just teasing.
Like, to think beyond just, like, getting my bachelor's to me is just, like, that's like Everest to me. I'm like, I can't even think beyond that right now, which is not serving me. A lot of people in my program have already applied, got in.
Or that's what they say.
Or that's what they say. I'm not sure. And I'm over here like, I can't even think about that yet. Like, I've got to get my bachelor's before I can even, like, process what's next.
Yeah. But that's on your master list.
Yes, it's on the master's list, which we also talked about last time.
So, what's the master list?
The master list is the overarching list of everything that
That's
has to
the
get
big
done.
mamma jamma. That's the list of all the stuff that you want to do.
Yep.
Whether it's paint the house, fix the car, get my master's degree, get my black belt, whatever that is. All of that stuff. And it's massive. And it can be massive. So you have that. That's your master list. And you keep adding and subtracting from that master list. And then you have a smaller list. You might have a monthly list or a weekly list or a daily list. And you pull things from that master list to those smaller lists that help you achieve the big goal.
Exactly.
And it helps keep you from being overwhelmed.
Yes, which is, I think we also spoke about last time, Ben, because you and I were in the car last week. Last week was my week off school. And I was like getting very anxious when the weekend arrived because I was like knowing that
we only have 2 more days before school starts and I don't know what to do.
Right. I was getting very overwhelmed and I was talking to you about it and like you're giving me the advice of making a master list and then a daily list. And that was so transformative this week. That was so incredibly helpful. And like I will admit I was like very skeptical that was gonna be the answer.
Yeah.
And it was so helpful and also allowed me to just kind of go back and see that it all got done.
Well, that's the whole like key, like because when you have a huge problem or project or thing to do, it's the hardest part is getting started, walking through that door and getting that project off the ground is the hardest thing. You don't eat an elephant in one bite. You take one bite at a time. Having the master list is the problem, that huge thing. So you take chunks out of it and you go, okay, today I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Tomorrow I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. And then the day after that I'll do 5, 6, and 7 or whatever. You gotta, that's a way to get all of your mess of a brain in order. And you just divide and conquer.
Absolutely. It's very, very
Yeah.
helpful. And it also helped me to see what was the most important, what could wait. Because I'm very guilty of just like starting a task and then leaving it and going to another
another
task.
one, and it's this shotgun approach.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
No, it
because
doesn't.
you don't get any one thing done.
Right.
You get started on
a million
10
things,
little
but nothing
things.
gets finished.
Yeah. So this is a way to organize yourself and all of those anxious thoughts and get them in order and do a little bit at a time.
Yes, exactly. Because when things start to feel overwhelming, and I'm very easily overwhelmed, I just will like not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just quit
And
all
how
day,
does
go to
that
the
feel?
lake.
And how does that
Awful. It feels horrible.
And how do you feel afterwards?
Bad, because I still
Miserable.
have all this weight on my shoulders.
Exactly. And then you're up all night trying to catch up.
Right.
Do the hard things first.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
We talked about that, yeah, because I was able to see what were the worst things that I had to do. Not the worst, just like the hardest.
So let's back up a little bit, because remember, nobody heard that one. We deleted that. We started from scratch.
Yeah.
So what was it?
So I had like 3 things on my list that were like the things that I didn't want to do for whatever various reasons. And I made myself do those things on Monday. And then I was telling you how much better the rest of the week was, because normally I would wait till like Friday afternoon to do those things. And then, what would happen was then I'd be worried about them all week long. And it would be just weighing on me. But because I did them Monday and I wasn't worried about them while I was trying to focus on school or cleaning the house or doing whatever
else, yeah,
I was like just freer. Like I just felt calmer all week because I just like had already taken care of those things. It was really hard Monday. Please don't get me wrong. Like none of that was easy.
But it's not.
But
and that's okay.
Yeah, but then like come Tuesday morning, I just felt like so much better because the hard part of the week already felt like it was over.
You got the hard things out of the way.
Yeah. Which I mean, I feel like is something you've told me to do for years that I haven't. And remember you told me who.
Yeah. So that's not my thing. That never was my thing. But 2 people taught me that. One of them was my mama. When she would make dinner, and we were a meat and potatoes family, so we always had meat and 2 vegetables. So it was chicken and like salad, peas, or steak, salad, broccoli, or whatever. There was always a meat and 2 vegetables. That's just the way it was. And so you get some green vegetable like peas or whatever, and I don't like those. My mom would always say, eat those first, and then everything else is great.
I love that.
Yeah. And the other person who taught me that was our friend Mike Medley. When I worked for him, and somebody would complain about some task they had to do, like the first phone call was a rough one, or something like that, he would say, make all the hard phone calls first, and then everything else will be easy.
Yep.
And so
it's very true.
Yeah.
If I can just stick with it.
Yes.
On Mondays.
But you won't. You're
no,
human.
I won't.
You're human, and you'll go back to your old habits.
This is true.
That's why you write those things down. And I literally have written in my journals probably 100 times, do the hard things first. Literally, do the hard things first. Because you have to remind yourself. Because we are all inherently weak. We are all inherently lost. Or as my dad says, you are a whisperer. And
I can hear it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm laughing. And I also,
And that if we, you ever heard the analogy about everybody has two animals inside them,
No.
two wolves, and I think it's two. I think it is two wolves inside us, and they're fighting. There's the good. They're fighting to eat. They're fighting over dinner.
Oh.
There's the good one and the bad one.
Okay.
And it could be patience and anger, or exercise and gluttony.
Right.
Which one wins? The one we feed.
Oh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So just like this, your organized self and your lazy self, or your organized self and your anxious self, are fighting over each other. Whichever one you give into, whichever one you feed, is going to win. So you feed the organization self, or you feed the lazy self. That's what wins.
So then where do you think, like, being able to take a minute to, like, reset fits into that? Like, you just think, like...
I do that, but you have to be careful. Like, I said you, I have to be careful, because my inherent self is lazy and weak and soft. And I think, my brain says, oh, this is nice, we like this. We do, for a little bit.
So as long as you don't feed it too much.
I give it a snack, and then the rest of the time I let that bitch starve.
Someone said, I can't remember who, but that it's like, if you're relaxing and you don't feel guilty about relaxing, then you probably have earned it.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're like relaxing and
And
you're
you're
feeling
like,
guilty,
oh,
then you probably should still be doing things.
I should wash the dishes. I need to pay bills. I should. Or, yeah, exactly.
That's true. I kind of liked that. I was like, that feels
If you're like, oh, I did all of these things, and my kids want to watch a movie with me, I can sit down for 90 minutes and watch a movie. If you're sitting around on the couch eating Doritos, and you got a pile of dirty dishes, and the laundry hasn't been done, and the bill collectors are calling, that's not the time to sit around and watch a movie, right? It just depends, and everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing, and if you listen to that little voice in your head, the good one that says, hey, we need to brush your teeth, then yeah, you should brush your teeth.
Probably gonna brush your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, for me, and I could be wrong, but just like a pattern that I've noticed, because I do like journaling too, and writing down like what I've been doing, and it's pretty monotonous and boring like yours, but just like accounts of what I did and how I felt about what I did. I find that, sorry, there's like a wasp circling, so it's distracting me. I find that if I'm super busy and I don't allow time to sit and reset or like reassess or just take a moment to watch a movie with the kids or whatever, my anxiety gets sky high. So much so that I like project it on other people. When the people tell me they're anxious, I'm like, have you chilled out lately? Because like I find that if I don't do that,
my
like
life is so much worse than yours.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, it's totally that. Absolutely. That my anxiety gets really out of control. So that's why I asked you, where do you think that fits in?
Are you getting distracted by the bees?
I'm so distracted by that wasp right now. Sorry.
There's more than one.
Oh, great.
Yeah. We're going to tough this out, because we're going to go for another 10 minutes or so. We can do that. We can do it.
Great. The other thing that really sets my anxiety off is circling wasps.
So, but it all plays into that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on the path, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're exercising, you're eating right, you're journaling, you're doing all of those things that keep you focused and keep you working towards your goals, how much happier are you?
Much happier.
And if you're not, and you're spinning out of control, and you have all of those anxieties, you're miserable.
Correct. Nobody enjoys anxiety. I
For
don't think.
me, when I'm slipping in that puddle of woe is me, I don't even know that I'm doing it
Oh, interesting.
half the time. I don't even realize it until usually it's a few days. Usually it's like a while. And then I'm like, why? I'm fighting with my wife. My kids are angry with me. I feel like crap. I'm so miserable and tired, and I don't want to go to work, and I don't want to do this. Why do I feel like this? Oh, wait a minute. Well, what have I not been doing? Usually boils down to I didn't sleep very good. I feel like crap. I feel like ugh. I haven't
Like you are sick or
just yeah. I ache and I'm sore and I feel sick and the wuss in me is coming out
okay.
and I haven't done the things that I know I need to do.
Make you feel better.
I journal and this is all self-indulgent stuff. I journal. I wake up early. I do these things for me, but it's for me to present my best self.
That's
Like I
very-
realize it now, right? And all of this, the whole reasons why I started all of these things, much like martial arts, was to fix that, to find that like better version of me.
Yeah, you speak to that a lot, and I have seen it.
Mm-hmm. And like when I'm my best self, I'm happier. I'm usually not fighting with my wife. My relationship with my kids is better. My relationship with my coworkers, my family, and my friends, all of that is better. So like, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, that's like the good kind of self-indulgence.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like that airplane analogy. Like you can't
Yeah,
put the oxygen on someone else.
if you're gonna save, yeah. So if you're in an airplane and the oxygen masks come down, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your neighbor or your children.
Because if you're past that, you can't put it on anyone else.
If you drowned, the person you're trying to save drowns too.
Yeah.
So in order for me to be my best self, I have to take care of that.
You just take care of
I have
yourself.
to take care of myself first.
I agree with that.
But
it seems selfish, but it isn't.
It sounds selfish, but it's not selfish.
Yeah.
Because I'm presenting my best self. And when I present my best self, my relationship with you is better, my relationship with my children is better, my job performance is better. Like it benefits those around me as well as myself.
I agree.
Yeah. It's a selfless thing.
Yeah.
It's a dichotomy.
And it's not like
There's
it's
that word
self-indulgent
again.
in the kind of bad way. It's like healthy habits that you're modeling like for your family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and none of us are perfect, obviously.
Well, like I said, I feel
mess up.
Oh, close it down. I feel so hypo.
Hypocritical.
Hypocritical. Thank you. Totally brain farted there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like such a hypocrite, and like I was saying earlier, there are people that I've literally conversed with this week.
Right.
This week, who I was literally like, "Oh, this is so terrible," and blah, 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 whine, and there was no cheese.
There's no cheese.
No cheese with my wine.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
What do you have with wine?
Cheese, apparently.
Yeah. Hello.
Well, I don't understand the like.
I was whining, but there was no cheese. Ha
okay,
ha.
hot
Bad joke. But you didn't get it.
I often don't get
That
jokes.
sailed right over your head.
I usually need them explained to me a couple times.
Oh my lord.
Before I get it.
Okay, I think the heat is getting to us, folks.
Apparently, yes, it is.
We're going to call this good. I think this was much better than our first attempt, even though there was a small interruption. But no worries, Claire. We love you still.
Yes, we do so much.
That was our neighbor. Anyway, friends, I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. It's always fun to be here doing this, and I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather do other than martial arts. I can slip a slag joke in there, but I won't. Yeah. Check us out on our website, formlesspod.com. There we have all of our episodes that we've published so far. We have shirts, hats, stickers, beanies, pillows, pillowcases, banners, all sorts of fun stuff there. If you like it and want to support us, there's where to get it. We are on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube. Lots of stuff on YouTube. We make shorts and episodes go there as well. Please check us out. Let us know what you think. Don't give in to your inner wuss. Keep going.
Like we did this week. And then talked about
how we don't.
How we don't. Even though we totally do.
We're human. We all make mistakes.
Yes.
It's okay to forgive yourself. Get back on that path. And if your path is thin like a thread, you can make it wider. You can make it a 4-lane highway. But only you can do that. Take care. It's so hot.